Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do this look for you guys today. This is a look that I wore for my 4-month favorites video with the cut crease and the gold liner in the crease. And a few of you requested that I do a video for this look. So here it is. I really hope that you guys enjoy it. I used some of my recent favorites in this video and a couple new ones that I'm really excited for you guys to see. So alright, let's jump right in. So to start, I'm going to use this Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden. I'm going to use like half a pea size because you really only need a tiny bit. And I like this one because it evens out the skin tone on my eyelid and it leaves like a matte surface so it's not sticky for the shadows. And then going into the Tartelette palette, I'm going to start with this color Force of Nature, which is like a very light brown with like a pinkish shade almost, and I'm using the Morphe M504 to blend that in. And this is just a natural hair blending brush. It's very poofy. You want to make sure that it's great for those really light transition colors. And then going in with Natural Beauty, which is a little bit more of a lavender shade, I'm gonna go in with the M330 to blend this out, it's a similar shape, but it's a little more tapered at the end and a little smaller, so I could be much more precise. And I'm gonna use that same brush for the next color, which is gonna be Best Friend from the same palette, and this one is definitely like a purple shade. And I'm just gonna again try to keep that very precise and really tight in the crease. And you really want to make sure that you really take your time to blend all of this out. I'm gonna go back in with that first brush we used just to make sure everything is nice and blended. I'm not even gonna add product to it. And then going in with this BH Cosmetics Shadow Primer in Veil, I'm just going to use this angled brush from Morphe, the M215, just to make sure I have a very straight line for this cut crease. This shadow primer is a very great dupe for MAC Painterly, by the way. I've messed with both of them and honestly I don't see much of a difference. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm getting a very straight line here. Just make sure not to use too much of this product because then the finished look can look a little cakey. So if it starts to get a little thick, just use your finger and thin it out a little bit just to keep everything nice and light. And then I'm going to go in the same palette and I'm going to use the shade Caregiver, which is a very light pinkish lilac shade. And I'm just going to place that all over my lid. I want to keep it nice and matte and neutral, and I really want to follow that line that I created before with the primer. Now I had originally wanted this to be round, but I decided to angle it out like the first look. So just instead of drawing the line straight down, I'm going to change it to go out to the side. And then I'm just going to place Caregiver right over this as well. A lot of the clips here got cut out, so unfortunately I don't have a clip of me putting this on, but I'm using the NYX Liquid Crystal Liner in Crystal Silk, and I just drew a straight line right over that cut crease. And I went over it a few times just to make sure it was a nice thick line. For liner, I'm using the Maybelline Blackest Black Gel Liner and this Morphe G21 brush to apply it. I do still prefer liquid, but I'm trying to switch it up and force myself to use gel. I don't want to lose touch with it. And then for my brows, I'm going to use the Anastasia Dipbrow Pomade in Chocolate and this angled brush from NYX. I had actually lost my Anastasia brush, so I went and bought this one as a replacement. And honestly, I think it works just as good, and this one was about half the price. So I'm just going to fill in the tail like I would usually do, and then I will lightly fill in the inner corner. I'm cutting a lot of it out, but it's because I'm planning on doing a more detailed video on how I do my eyebrows. Going in with the shade Free Spirit, I'm going to use the same brush that I used to apply my eyeshadow, and I'm going to put that under my brow. Recently, I've been much more into matte brow highlights rather than shimmery ones. I feel like it looks much better in person and not so all over the place. Personally, I feel that way. And I love this shade especially because it's a very vanilla shade. I love it. It's like got a little hint of yellow and it's just perfect. Moving on to the face, I'm going to use the Smashbox Primer Water just to get some hydration. And then I'm going to use the Nivea Post Shave Balm Insensitive as my primer. And I'm just going to rub this all into my skin just until it gets tacky. Then it's ready for you to put foundation over it. Then I'm going to use these two color correctors from LA Colors. They are the LA Colors Cover Up Pro Concealer Sticks. And I'm using the shade Pure Orange and Lavender. I'm going to use the orange anywhere I have a little green or blue, which is right under my eyes and my upper lip. And then I'm going to use the lavender shade on my cheekbones, forehead, and chin, just wherever I want some brightness. I'm going to blend all of this out a little bit with my damp beauty blender, and then I'm going to go with my foundation, which is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Cushion Foundation in W5.5. I have really fallen in love with this foundation. I feel like it has a great coverage and it leaves such a nice, healthy look. It really does look like my skin is just naturally healthy and luminous. And I have oily skin and I have not had any problems at all with this making my skin look shiny or oily or greasy throughout the day. So I really have to say 10 out of 10 on this one. And then after this, I'm going to go in with my concealer, and I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in medium. I really like the texture of this concealer. I feel like it's a little more hydrating than some other drugstore concealers, and the cover is like moderate, but I will say that it is buildable. So I'm going to do 2 triangles under my eyes, and then I'm going to go ahead with my damp beauty blender and blend this out. To set this, I'm going to go into my e.l.f. contour palette, and I'm going to use the 2 light shades mixed together to set my under eye. I'm going to dab it first with the beauty blender to make sure there's not any little creases, and then I'm going to go in with the 2 shades just to make sure everything is nice and set and that I won't have any creases. And as you can see, I'm going to dab mainly under my eye just to avoid creating any cakiness. I want you guys to test this and see the difference. If you swirl the brush around on top of freshly placed concealer, it's going to move it around and make it look cakey. But if you dab it, it's going to set it and make everything look very smooth. So I'm just going to set my T-zone, which is my nose, chin, and forehead. And I did the same thing on my forehead that I did with my under eye. I dabbed out any creases first before setting it. And then I'm going to grab this lighter contour shade from the palette, and I'm going to use my Nars ITA brush just to warm up the face. I'm using this color all over the face just to give it some warmth and some color back, make it a little more three-dimensional and not so flat. And then I'm going to use the same shade a little bit on my finger, and I'm just going to run it up and down my nose. Not so much to contour my nose, but to give it some color so I don't have just this bright area in the middle of my face. And then using the darkest shade from the palette and the same brush, I'm going to use just the side of the brush to create a little more contour. And then using this e.l.f. blush palette in dark and my Morphe E4 brush, I'm going to use that nice plum shade from the palette. And then using the e.l.f. Illuminate palette, I'm going to use this baby pink highlighter, I want to say it was, all over my cheekbones, the tip of my nose, a little bit on my chin, and a little bit on my forehead as well, just to make sure, again, that I'm three-dimensional and not totally flat, and that I remain that healthy glow that I got from the foundation that I really, really loved. To set my brows, I'm going to use the Essence Make Me Brow and Blondy Brows. I am lightening my hair right now, so I wanted to use a blonde brow set just to lighten them up so they're not such a huge contrast with the rest of my hair and I don't have these big black brows. And then I'm going to go back into the Tartelette palette and I'm going to use the shade Best Friend with a pencil brush, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this under my eyes. And then using the Rimmel Scandaleyes waterproof liner in Nude, I'm going to put that in my waterline. I have to say that this has been my favorite liner for my waterline. It really is waterproof and lasts for most of the day, and I really prefer the color and contrast to white. I feel like white can be too harsh sometimes. And then for mascara, I'm going to use the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I'm just going to apply a pretty good coat of this, but not too much. I won't worry too much because I am going in with lashes. For my lips, I'm using this LA Girl Matte Flat Finish Pigment Gloss in Rebel, and I'm going to apply that with this e.l.f. lip brush. And the reason I'm using this technique is because I want to make sure that I get a really good straight line. Sometimes with these liquid lipstick type lip products, it could be hard to keep it straight and you have to do a lot of cleanup, and this really prevents that from happening. So I'm gonna line it all first and then I'll fill it in with the wand. And I love this color because it's a really good option if you don't want to wear a nude or a dark or the classic red. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill that in, and then right after that I'm gonna go into lashes to finish the look. And for lashes, I'm using these mink lashes from Shadow Lashes called Cafe Terrace, and I'm going to apply these with tweezers. Make sure to use my code FAVRIEL15 to get 15% off on these. It's only valid until April 30th. And then to set everything, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set Spray. And then I'm gonna take my hair down, and this look is done. I really liked this look when I first did it, and I really liked recreating it for you guys so you can wear it as well. It's a very day to night look, and it really doesn't matter what season it is because you can wear it at any time. So alright guys, I love you guys and I love making this video for you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye!